Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Azure Virtual Network Gateway and Virtual Private Network Gateway, which we generally call a VPN gateway. So let's start. So first we will see what's the difference between Azure Virtual Network Gateway and Azure Virtual Private Network Gateway. So Azure Virtual Network Gateway serves as a cross-premise gateway connecting your workload in Azure Virtual Network to your on-premise sites. So basically Azure Network Gateway connect your on-premises data center, on-premises environment to your Azure Virtual Network. So you can stabilize the connectivity between on-premise and Azure. It is required to connect to on-premise sites through IPsec, site-to-site or point-to-site VPN tunnels or through express route circuits. So basically when we create a virtual network gateway, under that virtual network gateway, basically we need to create a VPN gateway, which could be a point to site, site to site, express route or VNet to VNet. So those things basically we need to create. So before creating a VPN gateway, first we need to create a virtual network gateway so we can connect our on-premise environment to the virtual network in Azure. Now come to what is Azure VPN gateway. So basically VPN gateway sends encrypted traffic between an Azure virtual network and an on-premise location over the public internet. So basically with the help of Azure VPN gateway, we stabilize a tunnel over internet so we can transfer our data in an encrypted format. So a VPN gateway is a specific type of virtual network gateway. So we can say like VPN gateway is also kind of virtual network gateway itself. Each virtual network can have only one VPN gateway. However, you can create multiple connections to the same VPN gateway. So if you have one virtual network, you can create only one VPN gateway, but you can stabilize a multiple connection to the same VPN gateway. So now let's see how many types of gateway basically we can create under virtual network gateway. So basically we can create two types of gateway inside Azure Virtual Network Gateway. So first one we call a VPN gateway. So VPN gateway is a point to site, site to site or VNet to VNet. And another one we have express route. So what is VPN gateway? So VPN gateway sends encrypted traffic between an Azure Virtual Network and an on-premise location over the public internet. You can also use VPN gateway to send encrypted traffic between Azure Virtual Network over the Microsoft network also. And what is express route here? So express route let you extend your on-premise network into your Microsoft Azure cloud over a private connection with the help of connectivity providers. So in express route, basically whatever the data we are transferring between on-premise environment to the Azure cloud, it's on a private network. It basically doesn't transfer over the public internet. So this connection types, like if you see here, I have mentioned here connectivity providers. So the connection types include point-to-point Ethernet network. It's just Ethernet. With the help of Ethernet network, we can create a express route, any-to-any network, and virtual cross connection through a co-location facilities. So with the help of these connectivity provider, we can create an express route from on-premise environment to the Azure cloud. Express route connection don't go over the public internet. That's a big advantage. So let's understand from the diagram. So this is a screenshot basically I have taken from a Microsoft site. So this screenshot is basically for express route. So if you see here, we have here customer environment, customer network or on-premise environment, and you can see here we have a partner edge and here we have Microsoft edge. So basically these are nothing. It's a special type of routers basically, which we use to create this tunnel express route circuit basically. So and we are like whatever the data we are transferring with express route circuit, that doesn't flow over the internet. It's a private connectivity. In a simple words, we can see it's a direct connectivity between your on-premise to your Azure cloud. So basically it's help if your data is so sensitive and you want high throughput, then in that case you can use express route circuit. But if we talk about in terms of cost, it's more costly rather than using VPN. So now we will see types of VPN gateway. So basically we have three types of VPN: site to site VPN, point to site VPN, and VNet to VNet connection, which we call also a VNet peering. So first, site to site VPN we will see. So Azure site to site VPN gateway connection is used to connect your on-premise network to an Azure virtual network over an IPsec VPN tunnels. This type of connection require a VPN device located on-premise that has an external facing public IP address assigned to it. So when we create a site-to-site VPN connection, we are creating a VPN gateway in Azure. Similarly, we should have one kind of a router which basically use as a gateway in your on-premise environment also, and that particular router should have a public IP address exposed so it can communicate with the Azure VPN gateway. VPN gateway can be configured in active standby mode using one public IP or in active mode using two public IPs. So basically when we create a site to site VPN, there are two options which we can use. One is called active standby and another called active. So we will see what is active standby mode. So in active standby mode, one IPsec tunnel is active and the other tunnel is in standby. In this setup, traffic flows through the active tunnel, and if some issue happen with this tunnel, the traffic switch over to the standby tunnels. So at a time, basically we are going to use only one active tunnel. If something goes wrong with that tunnel, then it automatically transfer your data to the standby tunnel. In active mode is recommended, in which both the IPsec tunnel are simultaneously active with data flowing through both the tunnel at the same time. So basically Microsoft recommend to use active mode when we use a site to site VPN connection. So this is the diagram of site to site VPN connection. If you see here, this is one of the environment like virtual network VNet1 in the region of East 2S, and this is the private IP address, and this is the VPN gateway which we have created on this particular VNet, and it has a public IP address. And from here basically we have stabilized a tunnel from the on-premise environment. And if you see here also we have VPN BIP, so virtual private network BIP. So with the help, so basically we are exposing this public IP address externally, so it can communicate with this particular VPN gateway IP address, and it can transfer the data through the secure tunnels. So that's how basically a site to site VPN works. Next we have point to site VPN. So a point to site VPN gateway connection let you to create a secure connection to your virtual network from an individual client computers. So if you can see in this diagram particularly what we are going to do, we have one virtual network here, and here basically we have created a VPN gateway. And if end user, suppose we have three clients here and they want to connect to this particular virtual network. So what they are doing, each client basically directly connecting to the VPN gateway through this point to site VPN tunnels. So it can authenticate using the AD or certificate. With the help of certificate, we will see in a demo of point to site VPN how we will authenticate, how we will create a connection point to site. We will see in demo. In simple words, basically every client who wants to connect to this particular VNet, they need to stabilize a connection from their system itself. So a point to site connection is stabilized by starting it from the client computer. So basically this solution help in such scenario where end user are not part of corporate network and want to connect to the Azure resources. Or for example, if you are in home and you want to connect to the office networks, then in that case you can use the VPN client. So when you use a VPN client, so it means you are stabilizing a connection to the VPN gateway or through a point to site secure tunnel basically. So that's how a point to site VPN connection work. Next we have VNet VNet to VNet connection. So connecting a virtual network to another virtual network is similar to connecting a VNet to an on-premise site location. So in other words, suppose we have two virtual networks. If you see in this particular diagram, here what we have one virtual network in east to west location and another virtual network we have in west to west location. And if you want to stabilize the communication between these two virtual network, you have to create a VNet to VNet peering, or you have to create a VPN tunnel basically. So with the help of VPN tunnel or VNet peering, we can stabilize the connection between two virtual network which are in a different region itself. So this, the VNet you connect can be it in the same regions or same or different region, in the same subscription or different subscription, in the same or different deployment models. In these scenarios basically we can use VNet to VNet connections. So now we will see that of Azure point-to-site VPN connection, how we create a point-to-site VPN connections, and we will test it, how it basically works. So I am on my Azure portal. Here I have a resource group called demo, and I have created one virtual machine inside this particular resource group. So I have one virtual machine named VM1. So why I have created a virtual machine? Because we want to test a point-to-site VPN connections. So how we will test it? So what I have done, I have installed a IIS service on this particular virtual machines. So if I'll go to this particular virtual machine and I'll take the public IP address, if I'll browse it, so you can see from the public IP address we are getting the response. This is the VM1 for P2S testing. But similarly, if I test from the private IP address, so this is the private IP address. So if I'll just change it, so we cannot access it because we don't have any connectivity from local to cloud. So that's what we are going to create a connection between my laptop to the Azure cloud. So we can access this particular application or particular site from the private IP address. So first thing what we need to do, first we need to create a gateway subnet here. So if I'll go to my resource group, so I am having a virtual network called demo VNet. So here what I will do, I will create a gateway subnet first. So I'll go to subnets, gateway subnet. So the range is fine for me. So I'll just simply create it. So as we discussed, we can create only one gateway subnet in the virtual network, in the one virtual network. So if you can see inside this demo VNet virtual network, we can only create a one gateway subnet. So we cannot create another one because that option is not highlighting now because we have already created gateway subnets. So next thing what we need to do, we have a gateway subnet in place. So we will just go and we will create a virtual network gateway first. And this deployment, virtual network gateway deployment, take around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. So I've chosen my subscription as a free trial. Select a virtual network to get resources. Just give me a minute. So I'll give here name virtual network gateway VNG. Location I will choose my Central India, and gateway type VPN is fine. VPN type route base is also fine. So here we will choose VPN gateway 2, and generation 2 is fine for me. Virtual network I'll choose demo VNet. So if you see demo, it's already taken a resource group, and the subnet, gateway subnet, it's automatically taken. Now public IP addresses, we need to create one public IP address. So I'll give it a name, public IP address, PIP, and rest all the thing is fine, because we are not going to create a active mode. If you want to create a active mode, you have to specify you have to create a basically another IP address, second public IP address. So I'm not going to do that because just a simple demo. So I'll keep everything is default. One more thing regarding SKUs. So basically we have these many SKUs. So these are the pricing model basically. So based on SKUs, you will get some extra features and that involve a cost also. So it's a demo purpose. I'm going with basic one. So I think we have already in place. So we simply review and create it. So we will wait for the validation. So validation is passed. So we simply click on create. So this virtual network gateway creation will took some time. So meantime, I'll pause the video. Once it's completed, we'll resume it. So now my Azure virtual network deployment is completed. We'll go to resources, and here we can see point to site configuration. So now what we need to do first, we need to create some kind of authentication to stabilize a connection between on-premise to Azure virtual network gateway. So what I will do, I will use a certificate based authentication. So for that, first, so if you go this particular site, so here they have described how to create a generate and export a certificate for point to site using a PowerShell. So basically I'm going to use a PowerShell for creating the client and root certificate. So first thing what I will do, I'll open my PowerShell as run as administrator. So I have copied the command. Here what I have changed, I have just changed the common name, CN name. I have put it P2S point to site root, and client also point to site certificate. So these the common name basically I have changed here. So this is for root certificate. So I'll just copy this command and run it on PowerShell. Now we will run for client. So here basically what we are doing, we are signing. If you can see here, this is a certificate variable where basically we have stored, and this client certificate we are signing with the help of root certificate. So here we have used a $certificate variable. So next command we will run this one. Okay, not ISC. So this is my PowerShell. So it's created. If you go to a Windows Explorer and search for certificate, so manage user certificate. If I'll expand this and I'll go to personal certificate. So here we can see we have point to site certificate and point to site client certificate. So now we have our certificate is in place. Now I'll go back to my Azure portal and I'll click on configure now. So here I need to specify the private address pool. So like whatever client machine are going to use this particular tunnel, they will assign this particular IP address. So I'll specify the range, something 172.16.0.0/16. Tunnel type I'll choose IKE version 2. Authentication type I'll choose Azure certificate. So whatever the certificate we have created, that data basically we will upload it here. So name I will give root. So again I'll go back to my certificate portal and I'll export this particular certificate. All task, export. Oh, no, I don't want. Okay, I'll not export the private key. Format I'll choose base64. File name I'll browse in my desktop and put name root certificate and save it. Next, finish. So certificate export was successful. I'll go to my desktop. I'll edit this file. What I will do, I'll just copy this particular content data paste it here and save it. So this saving will take some time, so I'll pause the video meantime. Once the certificate saved, I will resume it back. So now my certificate data is saved. Now you can see the download VPN client option is enabled now. So we need to download a client from VPN client from here. So whatever the machine is going to use this particular virtual network, they have to use this particular VPN client. So I'll go to my downloads. So the VPN client is downloaded. I'll just so now what I will do, I'll just copy this client and I'll put it in temp folder. Okay, I'll just create one folder. And I will extract this client. So based on your OS configuration, you have to run this particular installer. So I'm on Windows 64 machine, so I'll choose this one. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, so I'll just run it as an administrator. So I'll click on more info, run anyway. So do you want to install a VPN client for demo VNet? I'll put say yes. So once the VPN client is installed, just go to here and search for VPN. You can see here VPN settings dialog box. So just hit on this and click on this and connect. Now again I'll hit on connect. So now it's connected. If I'll minimize these windows, if I'll go to again my public IP address and I'll refresh this page, now you can see it's working. So we have created a two certificate. One is client and one is root, and we have signed the client certificate with root certificate, and what the root certificate data we have saved here for authentication. So so for other clients, if you want to connect the other machines to this particular virtual network, what you have to do, you have to share this particular certificate which we have created, client certificate, and you have to download the VPN client. So that's how basically point to site VPN connection works. So thank you so much. See you in next video. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it for upcoming videos. Thank you so much.